My sister-in-law's conservative boyfriend doesn't want to let his daughter watch a black man on TV, so I banned him. My sister-in-law Melly was beyond excited when she found out my wife and I were expecting and wanted to be very involved in our kids' lives as the cool aunt, because she herself believed she would never have children. She was very scared to be a parent and said that she couldn't take the pain of childbirth. She also faints at the sight of blood. Last year, Melly asked our group of friends, if you were talking to someone and they threw up several red flags in their personality, but they treated you nicely, would you continue to pursue that relationship? We all, of course, said no. Red flags exist for a reason. But then, a week later, she introduced my family to her new boyfriend, Rob, and his daughter, Susan. Before doing so, Melly made a note to tell me that Rob was conservative, which I thought was odd. We were all very progressive, and Melly more so than the rest of us, so I thought it was a bit weird, but that's okay. Rob was quiet throughout the dinner. I also observed that his daughter was very afraid of him and was too prim for her age of 5. After that dinner, we didn't see him for a while, though Melly continued to be very involved in our lives. A few months later, we went on a family vacation, and Rob tagged along. On the very first morning, I was sitting on the floor playing with our daughter while a children's show with a black man as the main character played on the TV. He walked over to Melly and whispered something to her, and she got up and turned off the TV. When I asked why, she said that Rob didn't want Susan, his daughter, watching it. Then, when she went back to him, I heard him say, "That frickin' queer" to her, referring to the main character. I was appalled. Melly is bi, so I was astounded that he would say that to her, and even more so that she laughed after he did. We parted ways for the day, but that night, we all met back up for dinner. I wasn't feeling well, so I left early. But later that night, my wife told me that Rob made several racist comments about the black family seated next to us with my daughter right there at the table. At that point, I'd had it. I did not want this person around my kids. When the trip was over, I told Melly that I thought she was making a huge mistake with this guy, that he wasn't conservative, he was homophobic and racist, and I didn't want my kids growing up thinking it was okay to hate people because they're different. She got very upset with me because this meant he wouldn't be allowed at family holidays if my children were there, and that if I just spent a little more time with him, I would see he wasn't all that bad. I refused. This caused a massive argument between Lori and Melly, and now Melly said that if Rob wasn't allowed around my kids, she wouldn't be a part of our lives any longer. To make matters worse, she's now pregnant after believing herself infertile, and she and Rob are getting married next weekend. Now my wife wants us to go to couples counseling because she's convinced that I'm overreacting about this. If she wants us to go to counseling, that's fine with me, but I don't think that I've done anything wrong.